Physical media man, physical media man, physical media man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What's up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another Physical Media Man Monday video. I have the 31 Days of Halloween movie reviews. I got in 23 films during the month of October that were, I anticipated them at least being Halloween related. There was a couple that were kind of borderline. This is the second year I've done this. If I haven't already said, it's not my favorite genre, but I've really enjoyed watching a lot of movies I'd never seen before, and a lot of them I ended up really liking. So anyways, before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback, do all that good stuff down below. I'll leave the links to my Instagram page, my Physical Media Man Store Instagram page, my Facebook page for the Physical Media Man / Physical Media Man Store, my Facebook page for non-media related items, the Hodgepodge Garage, my email, my eBay, my Twitter, and my Letterboxd account. Okay, so first up, we watched Hocus Pocus. I have been watching this every year the last few years. I think last year we might have watched it twice, and one time was in the theater because new movies weren't being played. But we really enjoy this one. I think I gave it an A last year, and I would do the same this year. It follows a group of three sisters who are witches, but there's something that needs to be done in order for them. They've been not dead, but trapped, or however you would say that, for like the last 100 years or 200 years or something, and something happens and they come back, so these kids have to try to stop them. And it's just a lot of fun. I think it does a very good job of capturing Halloween, the Halloween spirit, similar to a Home Alone, and it capturing Christmas. I would say Home Alone's definitely a better movie, but this one I really enjoy and like to watch every year. So there's that one. Next up, I'll also leave the link down below. I had a top 5 movies that I really wanted to watch during October that I posted. I didn't quite knock all of them out, but one of them on the list actually are the next 2 films. We got The Lost Boys. I'd had this for a little bit. Always heard good things about it, and it seemed like one that I would enjoy. A vampire film directed by Joel Schumacher with a great cast. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. There's a bunch of special features on there. It follows a family with a single mom and her 2 sons. They move, I don't know if they say where they moved to California, where this film takes place. I think they were maybe in Arizona to begin with. But there's this weird stuff going on around town, and this group of vampires, and these kids try to stop them. So a lot of fun, great 80s movie. I'll definitely be rewatching this one. I definitely recommend it too. I'm going to give it an A-. Next up, I don't have a copy. We watched War of the Worlds, the Criterion edition of the original film. I thought it was very good. I'm giving it a B. And it also made me want to rewatch the newer version with Tom Cruise, because I remember watching it but don't remember too much about it. Next up, we watched The Satanic Rites of Dracula, and this was another one that was on my list of ones I wanted to see. And I thought this had more special features on it. There's nothing really on it. I'm definitely hanging on to this one. It also got me into Hammer Horror. I hadn't seen any of their films really, and I really, really enjoyed this one. So I ended up getting a Hammer box set. So, a dying man's report of a ritual black mass stirs Britain's security chief into action, and a mansion filled with young vampire girls is soon discovered. And this is but the first twist in a labyrinth of horror. Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee pair up for the final Hammer Dracula in this follow-up to Dracula AD 1972. So yeah, this one was a lot of fun. I definitely recommend it, and I'm going to give it a B as well. Next up will be a few that I watched with my wife, who's not really into the genre either, so these are all pretty light compared to the others. We watched ParaNorman. Also enjoyed this one a lot. Lakai, I don't know if I'm saying that right. They've also done Kubo and the Two Strings. Coraline, which we haven't watched yet. I know we've seen another one of their films that we also enjoyed, Animation Studio. This one follows a young boy and his family, and he's able to see people that are like stuck in between life and death. I mean, they're dead, but they're ghosts. And great voice cast: Anna Kendrick, Casey Affleck, Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Leslie Mann, John Goodman. But just a fun story, quite a bit different, and I liked it quite a bit. So I'm going to give that one a B as well. We got quite a few B's here in a row. Next one up we watched was a funny film, Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. This is obviously a zombie film. I would say comparable to Tucker and Dale versus Evil, but not quite as funny. But it follows a group of high school students who are friends and in the Boy Scouts still, and a zombie outbreak happens, and they weren't there when it initially happened, but they come across it, and they're trying to save people and make it out alive, and there's just a lot of funny aspects to it. Definitely recommend that one too. I'm giving that one a B as well. Next up, we watched Tower of Terror. This is from the Wonderful World of Disney, based on the ride. This was the first of the movies that were based on a ride at the amusement parks, and I have never been on the ride, too scared. But Steve Guttenberg's in it, as well as Kirsten Dunst, and this one was better than I thought it was going to be. I'm giving it a C+. It's basically a lot like the ride from what I gather. They encounter a host of haunts in this delightfully spooky mystery. Buzzy Crocker, played by Guttenberg, is a hard-luck photojournalist whose unexpected encounter with an old woman leads him to investigate an unexplained, decades-old disappearance. So yeah, this one ended up being quite a bit better than I anticipated, and I'm definitely going to hang on to it. Next up is one that I don't know if I would actually end up calling a scary or Halloween type of film, but I went in with that mindset, so I'm going to talk about it. We got Mike Myers and So I Married an Axe Murderer. There is a scene that actually takes place at the same location as a Phantasm, which I watched last year and enjoyed quite a bit. But yeah, Mike Myers plays multiple characters in this, and he's hilarious in some of the characters. He is so this is a romantic comedy. Jill was unemployed, but Charlie knew she really worked for the mafia. Well, I don't want to read too much to ruin anything. But he meets this woman here, and there's some questionable things about their dates, and he gets kind of paranoid and things. And there's definitely quite a few funny parts in this one, and I'm going to give it a C. Next up, we watched one of my favorites growing up, and one of my favorites of Mary-Kate and Ashley. We got Double Double Toil and Trouble, and I actually picked up this DVD this year for $5 at Walmart, so I was excited about that because there for a while it went for quite a bit of money. So they obviously play twins like they are in real life. Their family's having money problems, and they go to their mom's aunt, so their great aunt, and she is basically a witch, very mean person, so she doesn't give it to them. And they had another great aunt who was twins with their other aunt, and she's they haven't been in contact with her, and something comes about and they try to see if they can find her, and it's a lot of fun. Not quite as good as I remember, but I'm going to give it a C, but I'll definitely keep this one in the collection. I think there's only one that I would get rid of that I'm going to talk about, but I'm keeping it since it's part of a line, and that's what's up next. So next up, we watched The Haunting. This is part of the Paramount Presents line, and it actually was, I want to say, someone else actually made the film to begin with, I think, which seemed like an odd choice to include it, especially since it's a lot different than the other films. I don't think it's saying here. Anyways, this is similar to some other films. Last House on the Left, maybe. I can't remember. My buddy was telling me about it. Anyways, it says, widely regarded as one of the finest and most terrifying ghost stories ever written. Shirley Jackson. Okay, yeah. Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. Okay, there we go. Serves up sinister source material in this edge-of-your-seat thriller, available for the first time on Blu-ray. You don't need to know that. For a century, the foreboding Hill House mansion has sat abandoned, or so it seemed. Intrigued by its past, Dr. Morrow lures 3 subjects to the site for an experiment. But from the moment of their arrival, as night descends, the study goes horrifyingly awry, and Hill House unleashes its supernatural wrath on the unsuspecting subjects. I just thought the acting was mediocre. My buddy said basically the other adaptations were a lot better, and I don't know, the special effects and stuff, which for the time might have been okay. 1999 was when it came out, but I don't know, just I was expecting more, and I was disappointed, so I'm giving it a D. If it wasn't part of the line, I'd probably be getting rid of it, but because it is part of the line, I'm going to be keeping it, so I would not recommend that one. Next up, we watched Halloween Kills in the movie theater. Wanted to see it in the theater, and had heard a lot of mixed reviews, and it takes the timing takes over at the end of the next film, which I liked, but then they're making another one, so it just kind of seemed unnecessary, and there's a lot of gore and all that stuff, which is fine, but it almost seemed like a little too much. I mean, a lot of people, that's what they expect from the series and that type of thing, but just some of it seemed unnecessary. And obviously, another thing is the plot. A lot of people say that you don't go to watch a Halloween movie for the plot, but I just didn't really care for it. I'm giving it a D. I didn't really like Anthony Michael Hall's performance, or his character just seemed like a bit much. There were parts that were okay, but I liked the last one quite a bit more. Also, the beginning, so it's quite long. I think it was about 2 hours, and the opening takes a good 20 minutes or so, and you hardly see the character. The whole point of the opening was for So I don't know if that's just a lead up for the next film. It just seemed quite unnecessary in my opinion. So I'm giving it a D. I'll probably end up purchasing it at some point because I do really enjoy the series. It just definitely wasn't one of my favorites. Next up, we watched Hell Comes to Frogtown. This is another one that I don't know if I wouldn't say is probably a scary movie or a Halloween type of film, but it is part of the Vinegar Syndrome line. I wanted to pick this up because I'm a big wrestling fan, and Roddy Piper plays Sam Hell, the main character in this film, and this was a lot of fun. It's somewhat like a Mad Max. In a post-nuclear Holocaust wasteland, Sam Hell is like most other survivors, a nomadic scavenger roaming the bombed-out remnants of the world for food and survival gear. But Sam is also harboring a major secret that he even isn't aware of. He's the last fertile man on Earth. And there's some like frog people in this, and well, obviously Frogtown, but it's like a frog person, and this movie is just, we were laughing. It was a lot of fun. I'll definitely rewatch it at some point. I'm giving it a C, but definitely a little better than that on the enjoyment scale. Next up was one that I can't remember if I had. I think I might have had it on my top 5 films I wanted to watch. If not, it was definitely on my radar of ones I wanted to watch and I had already seen. And I just have a DVD double feature, but was really wanting to revisit Halloween 3. I know I had seen it once before and really enjoyed it, but I wanted to revisit it, so we did that as well. Probably my second favorite in the franchise, even though Michael Myers isn't in it, and a lot of people don't like it because of that, but I think it's the first or second best film in the franchise. So when a terrified toy salesman is mysteriously attacked and brought to the hospital, babbling and clutching the year's most popular Halloween costume, an eerie pumpkin mask, Dr. Daniel Chalice, who's played by Tom Atkins. He's very good in this. He is also in The Fog and good in that. Is thrust into a terrifying Halloween nightmare. Working with the salesman's daughter, Ellie, Daniel traces the mask to the Silver Shamrock Novelties Company and its founder, Connell Cochran. So yeah, a lot of fun. Definitely was as good as I remember. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend checking that one out too. I'm going to give that one an A-. Next up, we watched one that I'd had for quite a while and never checked out. We got Tim Burton's The Corpse Bride, or just Corpse Bride, sorry. Usually enjoy Tim Burton stuff. Like we were thinking, I don't think there was anything of his that I've watched that I didn't really like. And this one was in the same boat. Johnny Depp is the main character. It's set in a 19th century European village. This stop-motion animated feature follows the story of Victor, a young man whisked away to the underworld and wed to a mysterious corpse bride. While his real bride, Victoria, waits in the land of the living, the life in the land of the dead proves to be a lot more colorful than a strict upbringing. So yeah, this one was quite good. Only 77 minutes. Definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. And I'm going to give that one a B-. Next up, we watched one which was on my list of top 5 I wanted to see during the season because it was worth a little bit of money. We got Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde, and I think I'm going to end up keeping this one. It's the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story, but and this is also another Hammer horror of films, so I got a couple in the collection now. But it's the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde story, but the difference is that he basically kills women or uses their blood for his serum and it turns him into Sister Hyde instead of Dr. Hyde. So Sister Hyde instead of Mr. Hyde. So he becomes a woman, which is different, and this movie is quite a bit fun. Kind of comparable to the Satanic Rites of Dracula, since they're made by the same company, but definitely worth watching, and one we had quite a bit of fun with. So I'm going to give that one a C+. Next up, and I missed. Okay, before we watched Hell Comes to Frogtown, we watched The Conjuring. I'd never seen any of the Conjuring films. Didn't really know what they were about. They're pretty comparable to the Exorcist films, and they star Vera, don't know how to pronounce her name. She's in Up in the Air and some other things. Very talented actress, as well as he's in quite a bit of stuff too. Sorry, I'm drawing a blank on his name, but I definitely recommend the films. I wanted to watch the next one the next day. We had quite a bit of fun watching them. They're more, they're not as scary. They're more plot driven, based on true stories about these two people. She can see things that other people can't see, and he is almost like not a ghost buster, but he I don't know how to explain it, but anyways, they're based on the true people. They kind of solved the Amityville horror thing, which they subtly reference in the movie. Anyways, giving the first one a B+, giving the second one a B, and the third one a B as well. Really enjoyed them. Definitely recommend them, and look forward to watching the rest. There's some that are not Conjurings but are in the universe, so I might have to check those out as well. But yeah, definitely recommend the series. Next up, we also watched from the Nightmare on Elm Street collection. We watched A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, Dream Warriors. This one was quite a bit of fun, and so they're all teenagers or college-age students, and they're having the nightmares with Freddy in their nightmares, and their parents send them to this place for insane people, basically. So they're all in this hospital type of building. So that's where most of the film takes place. And one of the counselors, she was in the first film and knows what they're going through, so she tries to help them. Lawrence Fishburne is in this. Somebody else, I think, kind of famous was in the third one, but it was pretty fun. Kincaid was one of our favorite characters. Kincaid! So yeah, recommend that one as well, giving it a C+. I think this year compared to last year, there was only one that I didn't really like, so definitely will be keeping everything that I watched. Next up, which will be one I'll be trying to pick up, we watched The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. This was a first time watch for me. My buddy's a big fan of this one. Stars Don Knotts as a newspaper guy that doesn't actually write the articles, but they sent him into this house where a murder had taken place years ago. It was the anniversary of it, and some spooky things happened. So he writes this little thing, and everybody starts to like him, and he has to do a follow-up piece, and a lot of funny moments in it, and I really recommend that one. I'm going to give it a B, and I definitely look forward to adding it to the collection. Next up, we watched The Muppets Haunted Mansion on Disney+. It was a short 40-minute watch, kind of like the film and the Haunted Mansion at the park, but I enjoy The Muppets, so I had fun with it. I'm giving it a C. And then also on Disney Plus, we watched Phantom of the Megaplex. This is one I'd never seen. It was a Disney Channel film back in the probably 90s. Takes place in a movie theater where I used to work in a movie theater, so I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And there's a phantom that's causing crazy things to happen in the movie theater during the night of a big premiere, where there's actual actors and directors and stuff there. So quite a bit of fun. I would definitely purchase it if I could. I'm going to give it a C. And then lastly, which was also on my top 5 of films I wanted to watch, we have Scream 4. Had only watched this one once before, I believe. I have the movie poster up there if you can't see it. This is probably my favorite of the scary movie franchises, one I really enjoy. Looking forward to the new one. I just think the plot is quite a bit better in them, or you don't know what's going to happen. The characters are more involved, and a lot of them are in all the films, which is a nice added aspect to it. So yeah, this one takes over where a few years at least after Scream 3, which I haven't seen in a long time either. This is probably my second favorite in the franchise. I really like the new characters. If you haven't seen this one, I definitely recommend it. I don't want to talk too much about it since it's got 3 ones before it. So anyways, I'm going to give it an A-. So that's everything that I watched during, well, everything scary and Halloween related that I watched during October. Again, I had a lot of fun watching some new scary movies. If you guys have any recommendations or things you think I should definitely watch, I'll try to do so. And like I said, I'm having a lot of fun diving into these ones I've never seen. The ones that I enjoy, I seem to enjoy quite a bit. And it's a lot of fun. It's like a lot of other genres. They don't have a month where you could just, I mean, any month you could do this for any genre, but October, and it just seems perfect for this type of thing. So anyways, here's everything I watched. Hope you enjoy this review, and hope you subscribe if you haven't yet done so. So this is Physical Media Man signing off. Physical media will never die. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Yeah!